everybody, welcome back. It's the Hey Poopy podcast with
Dave
and Ellen, two curious people who
are removing the stigma from your stinker.
Yes, we are. And part of that removing of your stigma of that poop shoot is talking about cancer.
No one wants to talk about it, but it needs to be dealt with. And we had an amazing guest. Karey Spransy came onto the show all the way from Amsterdam. Our second guest actually from Amsterdam, which is, I think we have a Amsterdam or Netherlands following or something. But
we do.
She was great.
There are Americans that live in Netherlands, though, which I think is funny.
Totally. Expats.
Yeah.
But she was great. She was amazing. She told us amazing stories and her whole journey through cancer, which was pretty intense.
Yeah, she emailed us after our Colorectal Alliance episode, Colorectal Cancer Alliance episode came out. And she was like, oh, I could talk about cancer. My story's insane. And the interview went really long, and we could probably bring her back for a whole nother section.
Yeah.
Because
she had a bunch of other stories that I would like to hear about. We didn't get into it all because obviously it would have been like hours long. But she's a guest. We're definitely going to have her back on. And when you listen to this, you'll see why.
And she's amazing. So if you're complaining about, like, I don't know, your hangnail, shut the fuck up. This woman survived cancer. And the worst kind of cancer, type 4, where she was told twice, you're not going to survive this. And she did, with a positive attitude, with, you know, being advocate for herself.
Yeah, she went through it all and survived and came out the other end a brand new person. So this episode is really fun. It's heavy, but it's great. She made a light of everything, which I thought was really nice. Injecting humor into really horrible things can usually make things go a little smoother in your life. So we appreciate you, Karey.
Yes. And do you want to know who our upcoming guests are? There's only one place to figure that out, and that's on our Patreon. Link at heypoopypodcast.com. Join our Patreon so you can find out who our future guests are, so you can ask them questions, you can get merch, we will shout you out. There's so much fun stuff to be happening on our Patreon.
Yes, it's a great place to check out all the things that are going on in Hey Poopy headquarters. And while you're at it, subscribe, rate, review, tell your friends about us, or you can even leave a message, an actual voice message at 203-998-5579.
And if you don't want to give us money, you can always leave us a review. Like this one by Cherokee. Pure joy. 5 stars. The fact that this exists brings so much joy to my life. So many good guests. Let not forget about the host. A must listen. Thanks, nice. Cherokee.
Cherokee. That's a good one. Yeah, so be like Cherokee. Leave a review and do your part.
And on to talking about cancer and surviving it. And we only talk mostly about colorectal cancer because that's where your poo-poo is made. But we should all talk about like some warning signs to prevent this from happening.
Yeah. Since we talk about butts, it's obviously a butt cancer type of thing. But if you're having any issues, just in general, talk to your doctors. Just go get it checked out. And enjoy this episode. Fartvac is the world's first fart vacuum and filtering system for your farts.
Using a hand air pump with activated carbon filter, Fartvac reduces the stench of your flatulence.
Take responsibility and reduce your fart smells. You can now fart without shame.
Fartvac also makes a great gag gift for those gassy people in your life.
No more pain while fighting nature and holding in gas.
Join the proud movement to embrace your body's natural functions with Fartvac.
Use discount code HeyPoopy for $2 off at Fartvac.com or search Fartvac, Fartvac, on Amazon for purchase. Ever wonder what happens after you flush your toilet?
With events and classes from flushwash.org, you can be a sanitation superhero.
Flush is educating the world about toilets and sanitation while partnering with organizations for change and access.
Events and classes are available on the website calendar at flushwash.org under services.
Flush is also available to host private events.
Pick up some of their super cute swag with playful toilet cartoons.
And catchy taglines to wear and show your toilet pride.
Become a sanitation superhero with flushwash.org.
Hey Poopy, how you doing? Hey Poopy, how you doing?
man, I'm just, trying to find a place with like-minded people to talk about like-minded things about me, about poop and stuff.
Hey Poopy, how you doing? Hey Poopy, how you doing?
Oh man, what's this right here? Is this a podcast about poop?
Hey everybody, welcome back to the show on this dump a day.
Hey everybody, this is the Hey Poopy podcast with
Dave
and Ellen, and this is episode 126, but it'll always be number 2 to us, our favorite number.
Crazy, 126. That's a lot of episodes.
Yeah, we've been doing this for a long time.
Yeah, a lot of talking.
And we have a very special guest with us today from the Netherlands. Yes, we are an international podcast.
Oh yeah.
Carrie, and I'm not going to say your last name correctly again because it was in one ear and out the other. Can you say your last name for me?
No problem. Yeah, Spransy, Karey Spransy.
Carrie Spransy. Maybe Dave can do some fancy editing so I don't look like a complete idiot.
No worries.
Karey Spransy. We got that. Awesome. Welcome to the show. Thank you.
Thanks.
here.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah,
I'm
of course.
excited to talk all things poop. It's kind of my life now.
Shit. Well, yeah, we're just gonna get into it, I guess, right?
Yeah.
You come to the right place.
Yeah, before we go into, Carrie, exactly who you are and why you're on the show, we like to do a check-in with our guests. And how have you been pooping recently?
Well, I've been thinking about this today since I knew you were going to ask this question. And being a colon cancer survivor, I feel like every time I sit down, I have a little poop. So I vacillate between a 4 and a 5, and then I just go straight to 7, probably once a week. So
Okay.
super fun. Yeah.
4 and a 5 is great. The 7 is like a little like...
I feel like everybody kind of does that, There's always like a 4 or 5. Oh, sorry, a 7 in there, thrown in the mix,
Yeah, I feel like 7s happen for me far more regularly than I would like them to happen.
Yeah.
And far more at inconvenient times, which I suppose that's the nature of 7s, right?
Oh yeah, sevens.
Sevens
are
convenient.
7s are never convenient.
Never.
They're just like they just pop in like a unwanted guest.
Exactly. So true. So true.
The 7s happen in our pants way more than 1s do. That's for sure.
Yeah, exactly.
That is absolutely true. The ones you can just shake out your pant leg if they happen in your pants. The 7s, you're going home.
Oh yeah, you're going home immediately. You're stopping whatever you're doing and going right home. So Ellen, how have your poops been?
I pooped twice today. They were really good. I would say they were like a 4.5. They're a little bit looser than my typical 4, but great. I woke up this morning and the first thing I had to do was rip this massive fart. And I was like, I haven't farted that loud and that like strong in a while. And I've been eating, my CSA is back in style. So I'm eating so many veggies and I'm just like, I think my farts were like, yeah, get the veggies on,
Yeah.
But I do have, because you know me, my epic check-ins. A couple of days ago, I was in my car, drove 10 minutes away from my home, realized, that cramping feeling is going to be poo-poo in my pants if I don't turn around and go straight back to a toilet because it's still kind of COVID times and like me just pulling into a gas station might be successful. So I literally had to turn around and I did make it. It did not happen in my pants, but damn, it was close. Cold sweats. And it happened so quickly. Like I was in the car, everything was fine. And within 10 minutes, it was just like, it felt like sciatic nerve pain at first. And then it traveled down a little further. And I was like, nope, that's an explosive 7.
Oof.
That's literally so close to coming into my underwear.
Well, I'm glad it didn't happen.
Yeah, me too.
So I'm glad you made it back home.
I mean, at the same time, if it did happen,
Well,
I'd
you
have
would've-
even more of
well,
an
yeah,
epic check-in.
exactly.
So,
It'd be like part 3.
yeah. And and I always say I would shit my pants every day if I could get this podcast 1 million listeners. So,
Yeah.
hey.
You hear that, people? Ellen's willing to shit her pants. I'll be there to hold your hand. I mean, not hold your hand.
You won't.
I'll be not hold your hand. I mean, hold your hand like metaphorically. Like, hey,
You'll be there to
gonna be
videotape and
okay.
laugh at me.
it's gonna be okay. I did not shit today at all. Yeah, that was crazy. Well, I just got back. I was telling Carrie before you got here that we just got back from a little vacation on Fire Island. So I had total, like, complete, typical travel shits where I just couldn't go at first. And then it was just like I was going constantly, and then I wasn't going. It was like a mess.
Oh.
But thankfully, I had my little travel bidet, so that saved me. And they had like the room, so the the house we stayed in it's like mainly marketed towards gay men. It's like a gay men's like resort. Like my wife did some work for this guy who owns it, and we got a deal. So anyway, we were there hanging out and like had the best time. But it was just so funny because I'm so used to like putting the lid down all the time, and the lid's just like always up on the toilet. I thought that was hilarious. I'm like, okay, you guys, there's a woman staying here. Maybe you should
Wait, it like springs up?
No. They just leave the lid up. Like,
Oh, there's other people in the house.
Yeah, there's other people in the
beside
house.
you.
Yeah. It's a giant house. Sorry, I should have said that. It's a huge house. But there's only like 3 of us in there. Like 3 like sets of people. But it was so funny, and all they had in there was like a roll of toilet paper. The TP holder broke off. So they just had a TP in the back of the toilet with this gigantic spray bottle of cocoa butter or some kind of like cream de mint smell, like spray, which by the way did not work. So yeah, so I think I just got all my pooping done in Fire Island, and I haven't like acclimated back to my normal routine yet. So hopefully tonight they'll change.
Wow.
Yeah, it was pretty nuts. But I'm telling you, the travel bidet thing, this is the best. It was basically a squirt bottle, but it worked great. Because now I can't. We both have Snap-on bidets, and like I need a bidet after I go because it's just like I don't feel fully me.
So, Carrie, tell us a little bit about yourself. I know that you found us through the Colorectal Cancer Alliance in that episode, and you emailed me very enthusiastically. You were like, if you want to talk about poop, you need to talk to me.
Yes.
And I was like, did and done. As I always say, this is the one show where you can be a fan and a guest. So,
True.
So tell us a little bit about who you are, what you do, and then tell us about your poo.
In that order. Okay. So yeah, I am an American living in Amsterdam, and I moved here for love, which
Ooh,
has
that's
been
always good.
amazing. Yeah. My now husband and I used to work for the same international sales company, and we met at a sales conference in the US and started this long distance romance. And then in 2017, I got colon cancer. So that delayed our being together in the same city permanently for 18 months while I battled that. And then when that was all over, I said, well, after that bullshit, I got to do something different with my life. So I sold everything I owned and moved halfway across the world to live in Amsterdam with him. And a year after that, we got married, and I started my coaching practice. So I coach people to just do the damn thing and to do it with joy. So we'll talk about more about that, but I just flipped everything upside down and started new, because I was like, I felt like I got a brand new life after all of that, and just could not go back to doing the same old. And so that's why I'm here. Yeah.
Amazing.
And you're not our first colorectal cancer survivor, and if you don't want to say it, you don't have to, but can I ask your age? Because you look very young.
Sure. Yeah. I am 45 now, but I got colon cancer a month before my 41st birthday.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. That's
that's why I want to ask, because I don't know about in the Netherlands, but here screening just started in the past year at 45. Yeah. And so you were way under that. And before that, the year before was 50. So you had 9 years before your first real colonoscopy when you were diagnosed. So let's go right in it. Like, how did you find it?
Yeah, so you're absolutely right. They did just recently reduce the screening age to 45, but prior it was 50 indeed. And to be honest, my mom is a breast cancer survivor, and so I had been getting my girls smashed every year to check for that.
Yeah.
But never, going in the back door to check that anything was wrong. Except for
Yeah, I feel like
have
most
to
people
say-
just don't do that. They don't even, it's just like one of those things where no one checks, no one thinks to ask or anything.
Because insurance doesn't pay for it.
Yeah.
Like with
Until you're 50.
mammogram,
Yeah.
With the mammogram, if you are higher risk, I don't know about you, Carrie, but I started getting my first at 35 because I'm higher risk. But if you're high risk when it comes to colon cancer, they're like, oh yeah, maybe you can shit in a box or something, but they don't want to do a colonoscopy on people now under 45, but at your time under 50.
Exactly. Yeah. Well, but you're absolutely right. They don't do it and they won't cover it. And the crazy thing is for me is I didn't have any symptoms really. Now, with that said, I would say about right around 2006, 2007, I had started to get some like belly issues that would best sort of be described as like mild IBS. Sometimes I would get constipated. Sometimes I would get some belly aches, occasional diarrhea, but nothing really crazy. And then it started to get a little bit crazy, like to the point where my partner at the time said, hey, just go get it checked out. Maybe you have an ulcer.
Yeah.
So just like go and see what's up. And so I did go to the doctor and they did an endoscopy. So they went from the front side and then a colonoscopy. So then up the back side as well. So I got roto-rooted from
Oh
both
yeah,
ends.
totally.
And that was an interesting, my God.
It's like a plumber snaking for something.
Holy, and they did this other thing, which I'm not exactly sure what it was, but essentially I had to do basically like a colonoscopy, a colonoscopy prep type thing where you completely clean out and empty your system. And then you go to the doctor and you lay on a table on your side and they basically put, maybe it's like barium or something.
Oh,
so
yeah.
that they can do the x-rays up your bum. And then they have you like roll around on your side and on your back while they like are pushing this x-ray thing onto your belly. And you're not supposed to shit it all out all over the table. Everybody's standing there and they're like hold and they're pushing on you while they're like, blasting a fire hose up your ass. And you're just like, what in the hell is happening? And then you're supposed to stand up once this is all done.
Wow.
And like walk to the toilet. The whole room is tile. It's just like, it was the most humiliating.
It's like an accident waiting to happen.
Oh my God, it was terrible. So I get all that done and they come back and say to me, yeah, everything looks fine. You just have a really large colon. I'm like,
what?
Okay. What does that mean?
Yeah.
Is that good? I have no idea. Okay. So they're like, yeah, everything's fine. So I don't think about it again, right? Like I still kind of have this like mild IBS business going on, but I've been checked, so I'm fine.
Yeah, and we want to trust doctors.
Yeah, and I was just like, okay, well, it's not an ulcer, it's this. And so then I thought, well, I'm also a yoga instructor and into mindfulness and was doing a bit of coaching and things like that. So I was like, well, certainly it could be my stress level, right? So
right.
When I get stressed or nervous or whatever, it manifests in my belly. And so maybe this IBS thing is just that, this is what I'm feeling. So then I started to just try to work on managing my stress level and exercising. And I was a meat minimalist, as I say, like I hardly ate meat just because I love animals and all of that and don't want them to be tortured, but really I just kind of like don't like it.
Okay.
So meat minimalist. So I was just, kind of doing all of the things. Well, so then then one day I'm having a FaceTime lunch/dinner with my guy who lives in Amsterdam. And I'm just like, yeah, I don't feel super well. And he's like, well, stay home. And I've just got a couple of appointments. I'm going to go do those and then I'll come home and lay down. It's just that, for me, I was just like, it's just the typical stuff that I have all the time. So I go off and do my appointments. And by my last one, I was in so much pain. I could hardly breathe. I couldn't stand up straight. I was like vomiting in the client's front yard in the snow.
Oh,
as
wow.
they're packing up all of, because I was an architectural resin rep. So I was doing this whole dog and pony show to introduce them to our new product line. And I had everything set out, and I'm like, I can't breathe. I don't know what's going on with me.
Wow.
You know, I say to them, I'm sorry, but something is really wrong and I don't know what. I need to go. But first, can I go vomit in your bathroom? You know?
You're like,
Which
can
is
I go
never
puke
what you
in
want
that?
to do at clients either, you know?
Yeah. No, exactly. You're like, hey, you want to buy some stuff?
Yeah. When I come back, when I get this all sorted, I'll
Yeah.
come back and show you this really beautiful stuff.
Yeah.
So,
But isn't that so the American way? We'd rather show up someplace sick than not show up at all, because if you don't show up, you're just looking as unprofessional. And then if you show up and you're actually really sick, then they're like, oh, she's actually, like, you almost had to see the proof, you know?
yeah, exactly. And maybe that'll be one of the silver linings that comes out of this pandemic, is that everyone is going to be more understanding of themselves. Like, hey, I'm not feeling 100%, so I'm gonna pass or
Yeah.
postpone, whatever. And people on the receiving end of that will be more understanding as well. Like, thank you. But again, you know, what I was feeling at the start of the day was, I mean, that was pretty commonplace for me, honestly. But it just got progressively worse.
It sounds awful. My God.
Yeah, it was awful. So to make this long story short, I leave. I end up in the emergency room. The doctors can't figure out what's happening with me. So they say, we're going to go in laparoscopically to take a look.
Mm-hmm.
It'll be an hour. You'll have 3 small incisions, and then we'll know what's going on. Okay. My dad had taken me I had called him on the way home, leaving the client's appointment. I think my appendix is burst because I had been telling my boyfriend what was going on, and he's on WebMD. Like, I think this is what's happening. So my dad is there. And so he starts to call on my family while I'm in getting this laparoscopic surgery. And when I wake up, my whole family is there, and it's been 5 hours. And I have
Shit.
staples from my navel to my pubic bone and a colostomy
Oh my
bag.
God.
Oh my God.
You woke up that way?
I woke up that way, and I went into shock. I lost my fucking mind.
Yeah. I mean,
Yes.
I would.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Oh my God. They put you out saying, we're just going to do some laparoscopic. It'll be an hour. And then you wake up, it's 5 hours later, and that's terrifying.
It was absolutely terrifying.
Yeah.
So that was on like that was a Friday. And so then I'm in the hospital because they're not with a colostomy. What they say to me is, you were an hour from going into sepsis.
Wow. Oh, fuck.
You were so toxic in there that this colostomy is temporary. We're just going to let all of the infection and the bacteria and everything in there calm down.
Right.
And then we'll go in and we'll reconnect you. We'll reconnect your colon, and we're going to deal with this thing that we saw in your left ovary. I'm like,
God.
okay. So I'm recovering in the hospital. My colostomy, which I named Stu.
Stu?
Stoma Stu. And I don't know why. One, I don't know why
Stu?
my large intestines are a he. And I don't know why his name is Stu, but that's just what it is.
Okay.
We don't ask
Hey.
questions. We just go with it.
Exactly.
So I named him Stu because it was just easier to talk about. Like, Stu's being such an asshole and not in the way that I need him to be today. And so he had to be working normally. Like, I had to figure out how do I clean it? How do I maintain it? How do I do all of these things? And I had to be passing regular, number 4, number 3 stools. And so Wednesday rolls around, and the doctor comes in. It's about 9 o'clock in the morning, and it's just me and one of my sisters there. And he comes in and he says, I need to talk to you. And he says, the pathology has come back from the 12 inches of your sigmoid colon that we needed to remove because it just exploded.
Oh my God.
And it's stage 4 colon cancer.
Oh
Holy shit. Wow.
my God.
Yeah.
Wait. So when you did the colonoscopy with the barium, how many years was it in between?
It was about 10. roughly.
10 years. Oh, so
Yeah,
that's
that-
a long enough
yeah,
time.
That was my question. That was the same question. I was like, how long was that gap? But that's crazy that you came that close to like complete just shutdown.
Yeah,
I
like
mean-
done. Like
And you
lights
didn't have
out.
any symptoms besides like your tummy hurting a little, but like in that 10-year period, you weren't pooping blood. You weren't like,
Wow.
wow.
Yeah, that's
Nope.
hard. That's a hard
Nope.
one. Oh.
No pooping blood, none of the common colon cancer symptoms. And the morning before I ended up in the emergency room, I had felt fine. I woke up and went to 6 a.m. yoga.
Wow.
By that evening, like
Yeah.
day life changed.
And they said
forever.
they said stage 4.
Yeah, and
Wow.
the reason it's stage 4 is because so what had ultimately happened is a colon cancer tumor had ruptured my colon, exploded the walls of my colon, and that I was leaking shit basically into my abdomen, which was nearly sending me into septic shock, which was why I
Wow.
was in so much pain, which
Yeah.
is why I couldn't breathe, which is why I was bloating to look like I was 6 or 7 months pregnant, because I was just filling up with shit.
The clock is ticking.
That is crazy.
I am in shock.
Yeah, that's
it
pretty
was
nuts.
I mean,
wild.
God bless you are here today.
Yeah.
That is insane.
It's like a bomb went off in your intestines.
Totally.
oh,
And
And
your
here's
colon.
the crazy thing is
Say
that I
colon.
had mentioned that they said, this will be temporary and then we're going to deal with this thing on your left ovary. Well, 2 years prior to this happening, I had gone into my OB, my gynecologist, and said, listen, my tubes have been tied for over 10 years now. My periods are ridiculously painful. It's always my left side. It feels like Mike Tyson is in there punching me in the left ovary
A speed
every
bag.
month. Yeah, it's awful. Can I just get a hysterectomy, please? Like, let's just take it out. I'm done with this. And he was like, that's extreme. Let's just give you an IUD to help with the cramping and the pain. And I was like, to your point that you said earlier, Ellen, you want to trust your doctor. So I was like, okay, well, sure, we'll try this. Had he said, that's a big request and you're very specific about where your pain is, let's just do an ultrasound.
yes.
They
Yeah.
would have seen that thing on my left ovary. They would have done a biopsy of it. They would have discovered, hey, this is actually colon cancer that's metastasized on your ovary. And I could have avoided the whole thing.
Wow. Crazy.
This is why you always get a second, third. You have to be your own advocate. I'm not telling you, Carrie, because you know this. I'm telling our audience. You have to be your own healthcare, and it's awful that we can't depend on the healthcare system, especially here in the United States. But yeah. Oh my God. I'm so
Fucked
angry for you. For that doctor should have his license taken away. Like, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, the emergency room doctor, to make you, since we're on the path of making you angry at doctors, emergency room doctor had said to me, they had done some ultrasounds there and they couldn't figure out. They were like, we see a bunch of this, fluid in your
serious?
abdomen and we see this thing on your left ovary. So I think what you are is constipated. So here are some laxatives and some pain meds and call
my
your OB
God.
in the morning. And I was like, I'm not constipated. I took a shit earlier today. I know that that's not what's going on.
Yeah.
So I did not take the laxatives, but had I would have died in my sleep. The next morning, it was in fact my OB that I said, hey, listen, this is what's been going on. I'm taking Lortabs or, oxycodone like every 2 hours just to maintain a 10. I need to see you. And actually my OB had said, well, the nurse said, well, the soonest he can see you is in 6 weeks. And I was like, you're not hearing me.
Yeah. I'm coming
You're
in
not hearing
now.
what I'm saying. Yeah. The nurse in the emergency room had said, if your doctor won't see you, call this guy. This doctor ended up being the father of one of my son's friends in high school. So he saw me and he's the one that was like, we need to look laparoscopically. Go right now. We're doing it. We're looking in. And he's the one that caught it and ended up saving my life.
Oh.
Yes.
I shortened it in the beginning, but since we're getting you mad at
No.
doctors.
I'm just saying.
So,
I'm
yeah.
glad you kept following up because that's fucking bullshit.
Yeah.
And a lot of it has to do with they all think us women are hysterical and it's all in our head. And like even you asking for a hysterectomy to a male gynecologist, he was like, oh, you're being crazy, lady, you know, like, and it's like, why don't you just do your due diligence? Like,
Right.
yeah. Oh, I'm so angry for you, but I'm so glad you're alive.
Yeah, that's a crazy story.
Yeah, I was angry about it for a really long time. There were so many things along the way that made me really angry about it for a long time. But yeah, I'm really happy that I'm here, and it was quite a ride. So I ended up trading in Stu for Stella. So
Nice.
I did ultimately end up trading in Stu, because I did ultimately get reconnected with my large intestine to my rectum, but that was after 25 rounds of radiation.
Wow.
25 rounds. That's a lot.
So when they cut you open, they took out your colon, but like the radiation usually is to make the tumor smaller. The tumor was still in there?
The one on my ovary.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's nuts.
So what happened? So the doctor comes in and tells me it's stage 4 colon cancer. And so now what you need to do is you need to do 12 rounds of FOLFOX chemotherapy. And it's every other week. It's a 3-day situation. So you sit in the infusion lab for like 3 or 4 hours and get one drug that I can't remember the name of now. And then we hook you up to a pump, which you wear for 46 hours. And then you come in, we take that off, and then you repeat that every other week for 6 months. So 12 rounds of that.
Wow.
And so what we're going to do is we're not going to put you back together. You'll keep Stu. You'll go through the chemotherapy. Then once chemotherapy is done, you'll rest for 6 weeks while all the chemo and everything gets out of your system. And then we'll put you back together and we'll deal with that thing on your ovary, because we still didn't know what it was at that moment.
Right.
So then I start to go through 4 months. I do 4 rounds of chemotherapy, and I'm having so many problems with Stu. Stu is acting like a lava lamp inside my colostomy bag. I'm literally falling out from the inside out.
Oh my God.
I have the craziest pictures, you guys, of like my colon coming out, and it's as big as my hand. It's like your
wow.
She had like a man-made
Wow.
hernia.
This microphone was coming out of your. Wow, that's crazy.
Oh my!
A man-made hernia, yeah, and I'm falling out from the inside out.
Oh my God!
Wow.
It was crazy, and
Yeah,
I was just having the hardest time with it. So I say to the doctor, can we please reverse this, and then I'll finish chemotherapy. And I was doing so good on chemo, like my immunity levels were holding up and I wasn't getting nauseous and all of that kind of stuff, that he was like, yeah, let's just do a scan, and if everything is the same or better as it was at the start of this journey, then you'll wait 6 weeks. We'll reconnect you. You'll wait 6 weeks. Then we'll finish chemo. We feel comfortable with that, just given all, right now. Let's just do a test. If everything's the same, then we're cool. So we do the test. We do the CT scan. And that little fucker on my left ovary had now grown to the size of a small watermelon.
Holy shit.
God!
That big?
Yeah, it was huge. I was starting to look again like I was 6 months pregnant.
Yeah.
Oh my God!
And they didn't even but they didn't pick up on this? I don't get how
Well, I didn't really pick up on it either. I just thought I was still swollen from the surgery.
Right.
This kind of stuff. And so then we see it on the CT scan, and it's like, holy shit.
Yeah.
You can swear here. It's totally okay.
Yeah.
I mean, it was crazy. It was fucking bonkers. And so then they're like, all right, so this guy, he's pressing on your ureter from your left kidney, on your spine, on your artery to your leg.
Oh my God, that's not good.
And colon cancer is sticky, which means it likes to just kind of attach to all of the other things around it. So where it is and how big it is right now, for us to remove it surgically, it's life-threatening.
Oh my God.
Now you're going to do 25 rounds of radiation to try to shrink that tumor. So that's why I had to do that.
Wow.
Yeah.
When they were in there, why didn't they take the tumor out? Was it just
because I was so full of shit?
Oh my
Yeah.
God.
that they
They had to,
didn't
like,
want to
clean-
make any incisions
Yeah.
because they would just get infected.
Infected, yeah. Wow.
Oh my God.
Yeah, that's crazy. So, 25 rounds of chemotherapy, and they got it. I mean, obviously, they got it down to a size they felt comfortable to.
It
No.
didn't do anything.
Oh,
I went.
It
through
didn't do
25
anything?
rounds of radiation, and it didn't shrink it at all.
wow. That's crazy.
Yeah.
So you still had this watermelon inside of you?
Yeah. I'm not kidding. Every day I would be at the grocery store or somewhere, and someone would say, "Oh, congratulations. When are you due?" And I'd be like, "Well, it's not a baby.
Yeah. Never
It's a
assume.
colon cancer tumor." And then they would be like, "Oh my God." And I'm like, how many times do you have to learn this lesson? Just never ask a woman if she's pregnant. Let
Yeah.
her tell you.
Yes.
Don't
Yeah.
ask. And I was
Oh
like, well,
my
you were the
God.
dumbass.
Boy or
that asked.
girl?
So it's cancer. Yeah.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah.
So-
My boyfriend made a joke the other day that it would be funny if there were gender reveal parties and you like pop the balloon and nothing was inside and you go, "I had an abortion."
Oh my
Yeah.
God.
That'd be pretty good. Like nothing.
And you're like, gender reveal, it's cancer.
Yeah. You're like, guess what? It's all these like blue ribbons that come out. This is what it is.
Yeah. Oh my
Yeah,
God.
exactly.
So clearly they had the. I mean, I'm like jumping ahead of the story, but like
No,
they had to like go in. Obviously, they must have gone in obviously and cut it out. So how was? I mean, were your doctors like completely perplexed? Like, what the fuck is going on here?
yeah, they could not understand it. One, they couldn't understand how someone young and healthy like I was would get something like this. Two, they couldn't understand why in the hell chemotherapy, that this thing literally like it just grew exponentially while on chemotherapy. They couldn't understand why radiation didn't shrink it at all. So yeah, it was like, well, we got to do this surgically. And we don't know if you'll survive. So then me and my 23-year-old son at the time went and did my will and put everything in a trust and planned my funeral. And here's the list of the passwords and here's where the money is and here's the house and, all the stuff. We did all that.
This is insane.
It was crazy. And I tell this story and sometimes it doesn't even feel like it's real. And then I look at my war zone of a belly and I'm like, oh yeah, that was real. All that happened.
Fuck.
And so I went into surgery with my whole family and my boyfriend, now husband, and my son and everyone there. And they wheeled me away and I looked at them as if I would never see them again.
Oh, it's so sad. I'm so sorry.
Now, yeah, it was really crazy. But here's the thing: 2 days before that, I had gone to bed, and I'm going to get a little woo on you guys here for a second. So, I had gone to bed, and I had this feeling. I was talking to my boyfriend, and at the time, and I said, I feel like there's somebody in my room. And I was alone. I was at home. And I was like, I feel like there's somebody in my room. And he said, well, who do you think it is? And I said, I feel like it's my grandfather.
Wow.
And he was like, well, what is he doing? And I said, he's just sitting here on the side of the bed where normally you would sleep. And then I was like, and now actually I feel like my uncle, his son, is here too. So I just reached my hand out across the bed where I sensed that they were. And I got this sense that they held my hand, but I didn't like actually feel it, but it like energetically felt that way, if that makes sense at all. And I just got this overwhelming feeling that I was going to be okay. And at the time I was like, I don't know what that means.
Right.
Does that mean I'm going to survive this surgery or does it not? And I just kept getting the message like, you're going to be okay. You're going to be okay. You're going to be okay. And so then I was like, well, I guess no matter which way it goes, I'm going to be okay.
Yeah.
It's going to be okay. However it goes. So I was able to fall asleep and I had this dream that they cut me open and a yellow balloon just floated out of my belly. Like it just floated right out.
Nice.
So like the next night, I'm having dinner with some girlfriends and I bring these yellow balloons, and I had written them all letters letting them know how much they meant to me, and I'd made these little bracelets for them, and it was sort of like a last supper with my girlfriends potentially. And I told them about the dream, and we released the yellow balloons. Sorry, turtles, I hope none were injured with that balloon release, but we released balloons, and then I go into surgery. And the doctor comes into the room after, in my recovery and all of that, when I'm coherent and all of this. And he has the biggest smile on his face. And he says, "We cut you open," and that thing just popped right out.
Wow. Holy shit.
Did you ask him if it was yellow?
He took a picture of it.
Oh my God.
I have a picture of it. And
sure it was, like,
and he
green
was
and
also
oof.
afraid of there being a ton of scar tissue in there, and him not being able to remove all of the sort of like associated tissue and lymph nodes and things like that you want to remove as well. And he was like, "And I don't understand it, but you have zero scar tissue in there.
Wow.
If you're not literally missing a part of your colon, I would never had known that you'd had surgery before."
Wow. That's crazy. It just popped.
Yeah. Just popped right out.
Interesting. That is
wild, right?
That is wild. I mean, the fact that
So-
you cut that open, you see this giant watermelon-sized balloon,
Right?
basically.
And it just,
Oh, he's like, he's got a surgical pin. It's like,
oh gosh, I know. They then, of course, they take the whole thing off and do a biopsy on it. And then that's when we learned that, in fact, that was colon cancer. But prior to that, we didn't even know what the hell it was.
yeah.
Wow.
That's so.
So I ended up
crazy.
getting I got my hysterectomy.
Oh, nice.
So that ended up happening as a result of all of this. Finally, I was like, yay, finally, right?
You're like,
But
I ask and I finally get it.
Yeah.
Just
Right.
took like many surgeries, radiation, cancer,
Yeah.
everything else. I mean, it's like ridiculous.
I know.
He's like,
super
well, we're already in here. You might as well,
Yeah. I mean, well, part of it was, the interesting thing they told me is that our ovaries, which is kind of a cool thing about biology and women in particular, is that chemotherapy has a really hard time getting to the ovaries. It's like this green zone that our body is just like, nope, not getting in here, to like protect our species or something.
That makes sense.
And so he was just like, "Listen, you fought this hard of a battle. Why would you leave one in there for this potentially to happen again?" And I was like, "Take it out. I've been asking
Yeah.
for 10 years now. So yeah, take it,
And you
so
have a
that's
kid already, so
Yeah.
exactly, who was 23 at the time. So
Yeah.
like, I'm not starting that.
Exactly.
I'm like,
23
I'm
is
going to
good.
be in diapers for a while. I don't need to also have
Yeah.
a child in
Oh.
diapers for a while.
You guys are both like just getting Pampers together.
Exactly.
Oh,
Exactly.
oh my God.
So that's when I got rid of Stu and got Stella. So radiation did damage my rectum a little bit. So most humans have about 6 inches, give or take, of storage.
Mm-hmm.
I have 1.5 inches.
Oof. Wow. So that's
So
like.
I got to go more often and more urgently.
yeah.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Yeah.
Ooh.
So they reconnected my colon to my rectum, and then they gave me Stella, which is an ileostomy, which is your small intestine, so that connection could heal. Because if I sprung a leak there,
Yeah.
I had no more tissue to work with, so I would have a bag for life.
Wow.
Oh God, that pressure is like, I can't even imagine. Like, yeah, that's a lot to deal with.
So you
was
have
crazy.
the ileostomy to this day?
No.
Oh,
So
okay.
I actually was able to get rid of all of the bags.
Oh,
I
great.
finished the chemotherapy with Stella, and then in January of 2018, so 1 year later, roughly, I had my final resection surgery where they put me back together. And I'll tell you what, that was more horrible than all of the cancer stuff.
Really?
Wow, why?
Well, I hadn't used my colon and my rectum and my butthole and all of that, had not had to do anything for over a year. So all the bacteria in my gut died. All of the control of being able to hold it, gone.
Oh,
So while I'm 45, my intestines are like a 3-year-old, and
Yeah.
they behave just like a 3-year-old. When I say I gotta go, I gotta go.
oh my
Now,
God.
I have shit
Wow.
my pants in bars and had to bike home because I live in Amsterdam. That's been fun.
I've been there.
We're sad for you, but love to hear these stories. So bring it.
I've had diarrhea at dinner parties where there's only one toilet and I'm in there just destroying it.
Oh no.
I carry a diaper bag all the time. And actually, one time, I'll tell you this story. So one time, I had, after all of this, I had gone back to my job. I'd gone back to my job. And so I was having a hard time being able to travel still, and I covered 3 states at the time. And so for my out-of-state clients, I was starting to set up Zooms, like the whole world is doing now, right? But I was starting to set up Zoom calls. And so I'm business on top, and I'm in yoga pants on the bottom, because when this Zoom call ends, I'm going to go to a Pilates class or something like that. And I'm sitting there talking to the client, and they're going through this whole big thing. And I'm thinking, like, to your story at the beginning, Ellen, I'm like, oh God, the rumbling. I'm like,
it's
oh
starting.
my God, really? This is going to happen. Oh my God. Oh shit. This is happening. And I'm sitting on my like really nice $400 plus office chair in yoga pants. And I'm like, oh my God. So as it's happening, I ever so slightly lift up out of my chair a little bit, slide a piece of paper off camera, off my desk, right under my butt, and I just sit there with a smile as I completely shit my pants.
Wow.
I put it on mute in case there's sound.
You got to do that. I mean,
Dave, I shit in a garbage can about 9 months ago on a business call. It wasn't a Zoom. You are more pro than I am. And Dave is like, I would have just hung up on them. And I'm like, you can't sometimes. You can't hang up. Like,
I don't know. I would have been fired from that job then, because I am shitting my pants right now. Do you guys want to see this?
Yeah, maybe. I mean, had I been like more ahead of it, or maybe if it happens to me again in my life, maybe I'll just like hit the leave button.
Yeah.
And just be like, I don't know, technical difficulties. I don't know.
There's
what
always technical difficulties. Oh, hey, this phone, my phone just, I don't know what happened. It just like the call dropped.
Yeah,
There's no but that's pretty pro level though. I mean, I wouldn't have the wherewithal.
I didn't know what else to do. So I just sat there and smiled. And then the call ended, and I just shut my laptop and I sat there and cried for a minute.
Yeah.
And then I got up, went to the shower, took everything off, put my sweatpants on, and was like, I'm done. Like I think I've shit. Like to that line from the Sex and the City movie. It's like, you shit your pants today. I think you're done.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that's a full day right there.
That is a full day.
Well, so wait, how was the chair? Was the chair fine?
Chair survived.
Okay, good.
Paper, I guess. Yeah.
That piece of paper saved it.
rock, paper, scissors.
Yeah.
Paper saves from shit.
Oh my
nuts.
God. In a
Jesus.
pinch. I mean, we wipe our asses with it.
Yeah.
So at least it protects.
I mean, there's some absorbency. You know?
Wow.
Yeah.
That's nuts. But
oh my
Jesus.
God.
Wait, so what was the bike one? Because I've seen my pants riding my bike home from like a bar, and that was the worst.
So I had just moved here to Amsterdam, and so we were out with my boyfriend. He's my husband now. So we were out with my husband and my sister. Actually, my youngest sister lives here in Amsterdam as well.
Oh, cool.
Totally coincidentally, she's lived here for about 6 years, and she came for work. And then another friend of ours, and we're out. This is pre-corona time, so the bar is absolutely packed. It is just assholes and elbows.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
Oh my God.
And where we were sitting, it was in the corner opposite of the bathroom. So 2 things I've learned: most people look for where are the exits when they go to on airplanes and other places. I'm like, where's the toilet?
Yeah.
How close are we to there?
I'd imagine so.
I need to know. But we were on the opposite side, and we had eaten dinner prior, and I don't know. I'm still in the phase, let's be honest, of trying to figure out what I can eat that won't trigger an episode of sevens, an episode of diarrhea. I still don't know exactly, but whatever I'd eaten that night, it was like, oh man. And I had already, it was like every 5 minutes I was like, excuse me.
Oh, shit.
Pardon. And like weaving my way through the bar. And then I go there and someone's in there and I'm like, I'm doing the dance.
Oh.
I'm squeezing as hard as I can. I'm doing the dance. And then I'm just like, I can't.
Yep.
I can't.
Yep.
So then I'm like, amazing. So I squeeze my way back, tap my sister and say, I'm leaving. My husband had seen some friends of his, so he wasn't like right in the immediate vicinity. I make eye contact with him and I give him some like move, you know,
Yeah.
like slice
He's
my
like,
neck.
oh,
like,
I know. It's like, time to go.
I'm leaving. Bye. And I walk out and get on my bike and buy pants.
And you had a pants full.
Pants full.
Oh.
Just walk right into the shower.
Yeah.
Take everything off, stand there and cry. I'm just was so frustrated and angry at the whole situation.
Oh.
Oh my God. Well, I mean, maybe the crowded barness saved a little bit of face. So no one's probably paying attention.
Stinky Europeans.
If that's someone farted, maybe someone's like, ooh, like, you know. But I mean, that is, I've been the bike situation. This is horrible.
Yeah. So white pants are no longer.
You were wearing white pants?
No.
Oh.
Thank God. But I'm just saying, like, from that, ever since this cancer thing, the white pants are out of the closet.
Yeah, we've interviewed a bunch of people in situations and things where white usually just, it's no bueno. It's like always going to end badly.
No, if you wear white, you will shit your pants. It's just like Murphy's Law. Like, it will.
I mean, although I will say, I used to have white jeans, and I was rocking those for a while. Luckily, never shit my pants. That being said, like, you can't.
Since you started the show, you're like burning all your white pants.
No, I mean, I'm not having white pants anymore. I got rid of them. But like, those pants did look like I shit in them because they would get so dirty so quickly.
Exactly.
Like, you go to
You walk
go
out the
anywhere.
door and
Yeah.
You brush up against anything.
Yeah.
Yep.
They had like in the insides. They were. I'm like, this looks like I shit my pants, but so you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I still love white pants. I mean, white pants it's a cool look.
I had these like acid wash jeans that were really, really light blue. And my boyfriend was like, I don't know what that stain is on your butt, but it looks like you shit your pants. I didn't, but I had to dye them to, anything light colored pants.
Yeah. One weird
not
mark.
worth it.
Someone's like, oh, you're like, it's not shit. Like, why would I be wearing, like, you know, you think I wouldn't know that?
Right.
But you know, it's all about optics.
Yeah.
Yeah. Precisely. Yeah. Exactly.
Oh my
It's
God.
crazy. Yeah.
My God, Carrie, God bless, like, that you're here.
Yeah.
The journey that you went on.
I mean, it sucks. But I'm glad everything worked out. Glad everything seems like, you know, obviously you're healthy. You look great.
Yeah.
And
Do you have any follow-up colonoscopies and what's the laws in Amsterdam about, or Netherlands about?
all of that stuff. So,
are you on universal health care there? Are they a little bit more like, yes, we actually care about your colon versus the United States, you know?
Yeah, I mean, so I did all of that story that I just told took place in the US. And so as soon as I got sort of the bill from, you know, the clean bill from my doctor saying like, okay, you're good. Now we're just in maintenance mode. Now what your schedule is for the next 5 years, you're going to get a colonoscopy every year. We're going to do the CEA blood tests. You'll get a CT scan, you know, all of that. Then I was like, okay, then I'm moving to the Netherlands. And they were like, okay, here's all your health records. So when I got here, I registered with my GP, your general practitioner, your house doctor, basically, and said, you know, hi, I'm here. This is my health history. I told them what my health history was. And then they said, okay, well, then we're going to refer you to a specialist so that we can get you monitored and all of that. So they hooked me up with that. And every year I've been getting a CT scan and a colonoscopy and the CEA blood tests. And I actually just had my CT scan about a month ago, and it's all good. The doctor,
awesome.
It's incredible.
That's great.
No evidence that you've had cancer at all. It's wild. Yeah,
Well,
I'm super happy with that.
I'm just curious about insurance. Are you on universal health care now? And because we had the woman from Colorectal Cancer Alliance, and because she's under 45 and she went through colon cancer, she has to pay out of pocket for a colonoscopy every year.
Yeah.
Even with
Yep. Because she's under 45.
I wonder if that was just the insurance that she was on. I don't know. So So to answer your question, of course, my cancer journey was covered by my insurance. Well, I mean, more or less, right? Like I had my deductibles.
Yeah.
I was on a high deductible plan, so I had to do the $3,000 deductible, unfortunately, for 2 years because it spanned into the next year. Unfortunately, it's not like per incident, so it's not like, oh, this is still cancer you're fighting,
Yeah.
so you don't have to pay that. So it ended up costing me about $6,000. But then they covered the rest for all of it. That's interesting that you say that because I moved before all the follow-up. So I would have been curious to know if my insurance would have covered these yearly follow-ups or not. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I just bring it up because I keep wanting this country to understand that universal health care is the way to go. So
Totally. Yeah. So I do have health insurance through my husband's work because I have my own business. I'm a coach now, a life coach and resilience coach now. So we do have health insurance through my husband's work. And for the two of us, it's about 210.
okay,
Euros
that's
a
still
month.
Still
much
cheap.
better than here.
And then everything is covered basically.
no deductibles.
Yeah, not really.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
So
that's
it's
awesome.
been quite a bit different. And everyone's been really lovely. And I see the same doctor. So it's not like with universal health care that I just show up and it's a new doctor every
Right,
time
right,
and
right,
I'm
right,
having to
right.
repeat the story. No, I have a specialist. I have an oncologist that's watching me. I have my house doctor, which in some ways I actually really like this because, in the US, but prior to this, my primary care physician was my gynecologist because as a female, that's the doctor you see the most.
Yes.
Generally speaking. And I was like, I don't think my dentist is appropriate. So then the next physician that
like,
I see
down
more
a little
often
lower,
is
doc.
the gynecologist. So we'll just put him down, you
Yeah.
know? But here you have a general practitioner, so your family doctor, and you see them for everything first. And then they refer you
to a
the
specialist or something.
specialist or the other thing. And I think that's really great because they get to know your overall health as a person.
Yeah.
They can see your weight gain and fluctuate, just like all of that stuff, which I think is a much better system for it than me just being like, oh, what's this weird thing on my arm? I guess I'll call the dermatologist. And then he sees me like once every 10 years. Whereas, she's seeing me every year. So
Yes.
Right.
Totally.
yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Should we ask any questions? Do you want to do shitty choices?
Let's go into a couple questions and then I can ask you a shitty choice question.
Okay. All right.
Sure,
Let's do
anything.
it. Let's do it. I like
And
that.
as you're doing that, I was going to pull something up.
Carrie, our favorite question. Well, our favorite question you basically answered. You have pantsed it. But we also love to know from every guest what kind of toilet paper you use and do you put it on the roll over or under?
Okay. I use the brand here of toilet paper is Page. Yeah, I'm like, I don't know, but it has a puppy on it. But yeah, it's called Page. So the brand here is called Page, and I would say the equivalent to it in the States is it's really similar to like Charmin.
Ah, so
Okay.
it's a little bit softer.
So it's a little bit softer, and it's definitely over. And I actually have side by side with it the moist toilet paper because that is a must.
What is that, like a baby wipe?
Yeah, like
Oh,
the
okay.
flushable wipes or whatever. Yeah.
Yes.
Even
Except
though I
for we
live in
learned
Europe-
on this show that there's no such real thing
Yeah.
as a flushable wipe.
That's true.
And
I know.
fatbergs are a big problem.
I am,
Fatbergs.
yeah, fatbergs are nuts.
Yeah, Google a fatberg. It's
Oh my God.
disgusting. And
don't
it is
know.
a total huge problem in major city sewer systems.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I've heard that before that they're actually not really flushable.
Yes,
So.
because they
Yeah.
have cotton in them, which basically
Totally.
is like cutting up a T-shirt and flushing that.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I'm gonna actually want to Google this like travel bidet.
Yeah,
thing
yeah. Or
that
you should get it
guys
a
have.
snap-on bidet. Like, I
Yeah.
can email you some suggestions later on. We don't
Okay.
talk about brands on this podcast because unless they're
Right.
paying us.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. Yes, exactly.
So we have this segment called Shitty Choices. And it's basically like Would You Rather. But In this particular case, shitty choices. So you have 2 choices, and you got to pick one. It's just the way that the cookie crumbles. That's, in this particular segment, that's how it works. One of them was, okay, you have to choose between never having an orgasm ever again or having, if your grandmother or grandparent or equivalent is alive, farting in your face 10 times a day.
A grandparent farting in your face.
Yes, 10 times a day.
I have to choose one of those.
Yeah, they're horrible.
I have to choose never having an orgasm again or a grandparent farting in my face 10 times a day.
It's horrible. That's exactly. They're shitty choices. They're not good choices.
It's a terrible Sophie's choice.
Yeah.
That is a terrible choice.
They're both bad.
Oh my god! I don't even know how to choose.
Now I will say not to be morbid, but if your grandparents are still, if your grandparents are alive and they're healthy, I mean they could have a really long life. So that's a lot of farting. But if your grandparents are sick and maybe they got not to be morbid again, but maybe they got a couple years, just think of it that way.
Actually, all of my grandparents are gone. One of them fairly recently.
Okay, so your husband's grandparents.
It feels like a cop-out to say that I would choose that one because they're not here.
Oh.
But I'll just, anyone, frankly, anyone.
Right. Any grandparent.
Even my cute little 2-year-old grandson farting in my face 10 times a day, not ideal. I've changed that kid's diaper. It's awful sometimes. So...
also, can I just say you're a GILF?
I think I'm going to... What was that?
I'm going to say you're a GILF.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Woohoo. Yeah.
I actually a little in shock because you're way too beautiful and young looking to be a grandma, but I'm just going to put that out there. So
yeah, I would have never guessed that.
Yeah.
But when you have your child at 18 years old, then
good
that's
point.
When you become a grandma at 45.
Still though.
Yeah.
So Dave, if you were to pick shitty choices,
well, she hasn't finished her choice yet.
I thought she chose.
I haven't finished my choice, but I think I would choose. I'd prefer to have the farting rather than never have an orgasm again.
Yeah, I'm with you on that one. I think I'm gonna have to choose it's horrible.
It's a horrible choice.
The thought of my grandmother farting in my face 10 times a day is just ridiculous.
I mean,
every
I think
day.
the trade-off
Every day until she's dead.
I've got to have multiple orgasms a day to make that trade-off seem worth it.
Yeah.
See, that's the part. I know this is going to sound awful, but I would lose the orgasms because if I'm getting 10 old person fart in my face every day for the rest of my life, I have no time for sex or orgasms. Nor do I will probably be so grossed out that I'll be like, what's the point of living?
You become asexual.
Yeah, exactly.
You're like, sex, I'm done with it now. So. Yeah. I'm pretty much.
So I feel like the farting in the face would cancel the orgasms anyway. So
well, what if it's just like the?
I mean, it could be whatever kind
of rapid fire. I mean, then is that like just 10 of those?
I'll let you have that one. Yeah, sure,
okay.
It counts.
Then yes.
But I mean, each day is gonna be different. It's not gonna be like.
Like what if one of those 10 times grandma's knocks on the door? I know you're having sex right now and those epic orgasms, but I got to fart in your face.
It's got to be like you're getting up in the morning, just like 2 farts there. You're making your lunch. There's a couple farts there.
If it's rapid fire, 10 of them, get them out of the way, fine.
I'm just going to say.
But if it's throughout the day, you're ruining my orgasms.
Well, look, there's going to be some days where it is throughout the day. Some days it's going to be like maybe all one. You never know. It's going to be a mixed bag.
Yeah.
Either way, it's a horrible choice.
Yes.
Yeah, it's a real shitty choice.
Yes.
It's horrible. Yeah, so and the grandparents are clothed, mind you. They're not some bare ass in front of you. Like they're clothed. But yeah, it's horrible. I'd be like, see, I'm picking that because I'm like, I need the sex to get over the farting thing. I just need please, I need some release.
Something, yeah.
Oh my god.
Oh my goodness.
All right, good one. So we could do. If we have anything else, we could get in some news.
I don't think we have anything else.
We covered a lot.
We did. I mean, you told us about PAMPs. You've told us about your history. We're so thankful that you're on the show telling us about being a colon cancer survivor, and it's you can correct me, but the most important thing I think we've all learned is be an advocate for yourself
Totally.
For sure.
and keep finding doctors that believe
yeah,
your symptoms.
Get more than one opinion.
Yes.
You know, get checked. If you even think like for a second, this might be a weird thing that doesn't normally happen, maybe go just get it looked at anyway.
Yes.
Yeah,
doesn't hurt.
definitely be your own advocate and speak up.
For sure.
And when you shit your pants in public, you know, make a joke about it, laugh.
Yes.
Like honestly, humor and making fart jokes. I mean, I have so many stories about, I mean, have you ever had to have a colonoscopy cleanse, like colonoscopy prep into a colostomy bag that's as long as your leg?
No.
That's super fun.
Wow.
Oh, no.
That's crazy.
We might need to have you on as for a second follow up.
Yeah, because I've had a colonoscopy, and that the prep for that is it's a nightmare.
It's no joke.
Yeah.
And when it's happening in like a giant clear cone sack that's attached to your colostomy and it's sitting on your leg, I'll come back and tell you poo stories of journeys of a colostomy. I'll tell you,
Yes.
I pooped on my husband's foot. I put a colonoscopy prep into a bag.
Oh my God, yes.
I had to burp my bag in a tent camping with girlfriends where they ran out of the tent because it smelled so terrible. Oh, yeah.
You almost come with a warning symbol, like
Yeah.
a warning sign. But also, we use the hashtag normalize shitting yourself because, if anything, this show is a place where we celebrate. Hey, if you poop your pants, come on here and let's celebrate it.
Yeah, I mean, shit happens, right?
Literally.
All the time.
Everywhere.
That's
Pants,
crazy.
floor, garbage can, colostomy bags.
Just well, yeah. So that's gonna be round 2. We'll have you on for that.
Round two.
I want to hear that. I want to hear those
Put it on the
stories.
books. They are crazy.
Well, we're gonna do this little quick news story, then we'll get you out of here. So
Okay.
here is this little intro we're gonna play, and then we'll do it. Okay, so this was on CBS News. Ellen sent this to me, but I actually just read this before you sent this to me. So, a high-speed emergency bathroom run lands Japanese bullet train driver in hot water. This was by Lucy Craft. Sorry, Lucy Craft on CBSNews.com. So yeah, have you ever been driving or doing something, operating a vehicle to say, and you've got to go, but you can't because you're driving. Well, this particular train operator in Tokyo was driving one of their crazy ass bullet trains, which reaches up to speeds of 200 miles per hour, which I'll take a quick pause. Can we just get trains, like hyperspeed trains in this country? I mean, for fucking Christ's sake, it's like, anyway. So this train had departed at Tokyo Station around 7:33 a.m., bound for Shin Osaka Station, one of the busiest, most lucrative train routes in the world. At 8:14 outside of, I'm going to pronounce this wrong, Adawara, southwest of Tokyo, the driver suffered a bout of abdominal distress. I love that. He had to take a shit. So he just left his post. I think the train was doing, I'm kind of scrolling through this real quick, I think 96 miles an hour.
Wow.
And there was 200 people on the train.
Wow.
Or over that, probably. But that's nuts. He just left the train.
No, it's 200 miles per hour.
No. I said that's what I said earlier. The train can go up to 200 miles an hour.
Oh.
This particular train was going 96. I saw that before you guys got here, and I was reading the article. But that's fucking crazy. No, sorry, 93 miles per hour with 160 passengers. My bad. That's crazy.
Yeah,
now,
that
but
is crazy.
I will say though that's. Look, I get
There's
that.
no co-pilots on trains,
Yeah.
I guess. There's just a single engineer. or
Yeah.
whatever.
Now, I will say, again, I don't know the ins and outs of these super trains, these bullet trains in Japan, but if it's Japanese quality, this thing can probably drive itself without any problems. That being said, I still would like someone to be at the controls doing 93 miles an hour.
But as Carrie just said, a co-pilot sounds very important because what if,
Yeah.
you should have a co-pilot. What if he had a heart attack? What if he had some other kind of emergency, you know? So,
Yeah.
Well, it said the central control, because that's another thing. In Japan, those trains run, they run on time. I mean, there is no fucking around there.
Efficient and
Yeah.
Very efficient. So the central control in Tokyo noticed that the train was running 1 minute behind. And it's like, what's up?
wow.
And the driver,
And
I
no
guess,
one was there
yeah.
to answer.
Oh my God. And like, oh my God, it's just like nuts. He hadn't reported his own departure from the controls out of embarrassment, which is another thing. He's probably like so humiliated that he's got to do this, but pride in your job. But he's like, I got to go. So, I mean, that's just crazy, man.
Yeah, but as Carrie just said, shit happens,
Yeah.
and like
If he
he's
had a piece of paper on the control panel, he could have just
Yeah.
slid it underneath and then everyone
I
would
would've-
have been okay.
I would have like put that throttle all the way. We're doing 200, baby. We're getting there. We're getting this train's getting there early. Because
We
there's
are prairie dogging right
Yeah.
now. Where you gotta go.
But I mean, talk about like efficiency. Like, I mean, the real story here is how efficient these trains are. They just know the train's 1 minute behind. That's crazy.
Excuse me, you're running 1 minute behind.
Yeah.
What's
You're like,
going
oh, I'm
on?
sorry, my bad. Let me just kick this thing up to 100 miles an hour. I mean, that's crazy. Because I did, again, I'm totally off the subject here, but I read a story a long time ago about a Japanese train operator, that the train was 2 minutes late or something like that. It was late. And he had written an apology to like almost, I think, like every passenger on the train because they were late. 2 minutes late.
I mean, how late are the subways in New York?
Oh, awful.
How late are the trams here in Amsterdam? I mean, actually,
How late is
they're pretty
everything?
Good, but like exactly.
I mean, Germany is the only place I've been to where I've been like, okay, this shit's on time. Like that, they're pretty good. But I mean, like, to actually write your customers like personalized letters about how embarrassed you were that you were. That's fucking crazy to me. But anyway, that story was, it's kind of scary though. Actually, just thinking like it's a train just whipping down the tracks and no one's driving it. Anyway. But with
you're
that,
standing at the bathroom and you're knocking, and then it opens and the captain comes out, and you're like, "Wait, huh?
yeah,
Who-
if you're here,
Who's driving this?
who's
thing?
there? It's like
got
it's like
controls in
it's just
there?
got like
What's going on?
it's got like a blow up like doll with like duct tape to the
like
handle.
Airplane
Yeah.
the movie.
It's like just like sitting there going like, yeah. Or he's got strings from the bathroom. Like, I can handle this. Oh my God. With that,
Just do it and drive it with an app on your phone.
yeah.
While you're on the toilet.
He's got like a really one long stick. Oh my God. Well, Carrie, thank you so much for being on our show. You were amazing. Thanks for sharing your story with us, and I'm really happy you're here to tell it to us.
Yes.
Oh, well, thank you so much for having me. It was really super fun to talk with you guys, and what a fun podcast. And thank you for having me. And let's come back and talk all things colostomy prep in that.
Of course.
Yes.
And if you have anything you want to promote to our audience,
Or your
you know,
social media.
anything, you could do it now if you'd like.
Yeah, so they people can follow me on Instagram at Karey_on_coaching, and it's spelled like my name, Karey. So at Karey_on_coaching, and then visit me at my website, careyoncoaching.com.
Nice.
Ooh. And we
Excellent.
will link it in the show notes.
Yes. And with that, thanks for laughing and learning everything but with us.
And happy pooping, everybody, and enjoy your butt.
Hey Poopy Podcast is brought to you by Perfect 4 Entertainment, produced by Dave and Ellen, with executive producer Stormy Leather, edited by me, Dave.
For more information, go to heypoopypodcast.com for episodes, merch, and more. Follow us on Instagram at heypoopypodcast and Twitter at heypoopy. Theme song by Jordan Perlson. Hey Poopy.